Hi, it's Etharal here for EGN, and today we are back with the next in our Mount and Blade Warband Let's Plays with the Warhammer Conquest mod. So here, obviously, we are just sort of having to rebuild up our forces after, obviously, having lost quite a lot of guys, basically just back to basic militia here in this episode there. So we're just going to try and take down some of these bandits here just to try and, obviously start getting some more experience on our guys. We're not going to, be too involved with this. We'll obviously try and, jump around, make sure that we take out some of these guys just to thin out the herd, but generally, obviously, we want to make sure that our guys are actually, once with any luck, actually managing to kill some guys. Obviously, that way they can start to improve. Although, certainly the ones where you can see, obviously, with the higher armor and things like that, that's probably some that we're going to, sort of clip away at, just try and sort of take down some healths and, take away some of the ones that are actually a genuine threat. And this guy just basically killing him because we can. And so, there we go. We're going to just sort of pop around and keep doing this. You will obviously be able to see that, thankfully, there is a good couple of the guys getting taken down by the militia, though. The main one from that pretty much is just due to the sheer amount of guys that we have compared to the amount of guys that they have. So that's definitely making things a lot easier for us there to be able to just sort of come in and be able to sort of swarm over their guys. And so this is, fight has gone pretty much, as you would really expect there. Thankfully, due to our surgery skill as well, it is a case that these guys are, luckily being knocked unconscious more than actually dying, which is certainly a good thing for ourselves, as it means that we're going to have more people to actually be able to raise up levels with later on. And there you can see in the last guy just how many guys that we still do actually have alongside, sort of to fight and just sort of completely and utterly swarming around him. Trying to just obviously take him out there with a nice quick shot. Didn't quite work as well as I intended, but we're still going to make sure that this guy does actually, well, he doesn't live to regret his decision to try and attack us. And so there we go. He has now been killed. So that is the last guy. We managed to, these militias actually take them down reasonably well. We only obviously lose 5 guys, which, is something very much dealable with. So we're going to obviously continue on there. And here we can see that the marshal of the area has actually requested that we come and join him for an assault. This is one that is going to be quite a little sort of interesting sort of thing there. You will also see that there is another suitor for the maid, that a lady of the Empire that I am trying to obviously marry with in this game to improve my actual standing. So we'll just sort of get all these guys out of the way here. Just something that obviously something I have discovered in this game. It's not something I've really used very much before, but obviously the prisoner management and selling prisoners, very, very useful thing to be actually doing. You will also notice there that there is a challenge a lord to a duel, so that he will basically give up his suit of the Lady Alina, which is something that I will obviously try and do at some point. I've had it for quite a while, but we'll take that as it comes sort of thing. And obviously we are going to head off to try and hopefully be able to find where the marshal is. And so this guy is obviously just, using him to try and find out exactly where it is that we're going there, and, sort of thing. This, safe to say, will potentially be leading us quite a little merry chase, to say the least. So you'll notice we came down from Middenheim to Altdorf and trying to follow these guys, and we have found out that they're obviously further down south, I believe it was, or something like that. So anyway, though, we are going to, keep going through and just being sort of wandering around, sort of trying to collect up some guys. And so we head up north. We actually went to go and see the lady there, but who should we run into along the way? But the guy who is also trying to suit her. And so we are going to have to do a duel for this one to be able to get this one sorted. He is, shall we say, not exactly my biggest friend anymore, but we'll deal with that though. And so, thankfully, neither one of us have on our armour, particularly him, who obviously has probably quite thick armour, and being only one-on-one with swords, we managed to take him down nice and easily there. So Michael is actually now the potentially only suitor. So that definitely makes things a lot easier for us. Obviously, we do still have to convince her father and things, but that is something that we will still have to deal with at a later day. And so this guy really, really does not like me there. Obviously, it's talking about how I plague him and things, but we will use him to try and find out where the marshal is. And as we have obviously obviously discovered along the way that the Marshal has been heading south. So he was originally near Altdorf, I believe, and then has gone down to Nuln. So we will hope that we are able to move faster than him, and we do eventually arrive at Nuln. It does take us a while to get there, and we haven't been able to see him in the surrounding areas. So the first thing, obviously, that the Lord Michael does is he actually is going to go to the castle itself, talk to the local lord, and try and see if he can actually track down exactly where it is that the Marshal has headed, and hopefully should be able to be gaining on him at least. However, he is now headed up north again, crossed over the river, up over in Warden, so to the north and to the east. So we're going to try and head over there. Obviously, one good thing about this that it is allowing us to do along the way is we are actually managing to, advance through things. We managed to sort of continue heading north past Warden and run into this guy, where again we find out where he is, and again he is been moving further on. He is over near sort of the Ravenstein area, so he's gone back northwest, so we'll have to keep chasing him. It looks like he's pretty much just going around in a circle with Michael there. Probably not, the funnest thing for him to be actually having to do here, but, such is the way. If he has been called to lead in a war, you will notice that my army here, as I'm skipping forward obviously, is steadily increasing as we are managing to recruit more men before finally, south of Middenheim, we finally do believe, we managed to actually find him, at which point he basically says thank you for coming, and that's all that I'll need you for. So, he has pretty much just said that's sort of it really, and so don't really know what to do with that one. Obviously, we'll just have to sort of, I guess, keep training up these guys. We do have sort of quite a large army now between us, and so, well, not between us, leading our men. Obviously, we've got sort of 50, skip ahead there to 58 guys, and so we are going to attack these bandits to be able to actually, we're outnumbering them 2 to 1, so obviously we are going to be able to attack them and hopefully be able to get some more recruits. You'll be able to see there, obviously, that the army has increased. We do now have spearmen and foresters and things, so a little bit looking a bit more like an Empire army with those spearmen there to be able to hopefully challenge these bandits quite well. So one of the things I do like about the Empire guys is that they're the models in this game, they do look very much like the models on the tabletop. Anybody who's played the Empire or played against the Empire, those very much are what the Empire guys look like. So we are going to help out though, and just try and basically be able to sort of take out some guys there. Obviously they're, we outnumber them 2 to 1 sort of thing, but still not something that I want to take a chance of or anything like that. So we're going to sort of do our usual typical tactic of sort of jumping around and trying to take people down that way. And so we are going to, usual thing, jumping in with our pistol, sort of taking out a couple of guys, then coming in, doing a couple of swings, taking some good, chunks of health off some guys as we go. And obviously just wanting to try and, make sure that we don't get bogged down too much, even though we do have some nice heavy armor now. Obviously, as you can see, we're still receiving odd damage here and there and things. And obviously with this game, with there not being any magical items or anything like that, it is a case that you can die quite easily if you're not careful. There is something I am actually looking at. I've actually seen that obviously there is a actual version for the Game of Thrones or Song of Fire and Ice mod for this game, which is something that I am possibly considering running a little series on at some point. If that's something you might like to see, please do feel free obviously to let me know, and would be more than happy to look at giving one of those. I think it'll be a very good setting for this sort of game. Obviously if you do want to see any more videos and things, do feel free to subscribe obviously, and I'm putting out videos at least twice a week, and they're always hopefully entertaining for you to watch there. But anyway though, returning back to Michael, he is just, he's managed to mop up a couple of guys. Our guys have, managed to take them out, and we are definitely in a very strong position here. We're pretty much just completely swarming the match. We have definitely killed a lot more of his guys than he has killed of mine, and so there we go. We do the nice way of finishing this guy off with a pistol to the face pretty much, and I believe there is still possibly one guy still running around. Oh no, there he is. He has actually gone, And so Michael's army, having only lost 4 men, is now in a really, obviously, good place. So they will sort of continue to advance. Just going to go around. Obviously, we do have 9 guys there, as you can see, that we are able to actually, you know, sell to any sort of slave traders, well, ransom brokers as they're called in this game, or slave trades in other games and things like that. So we can try and see if we can actually manage to find any of them. Unfortunately, they don't seem to be around anywhere, but we will obviously just, you know, sell some stuff and be able to, you know, we've got a decent bit of money coming in now. We're in a pretty good position in terms of how much money you've got coming in compared to how much you've got going out, so long as obviously it is a case that Dorog doesn't get actually invaded. If it does get invaded and raided, then, you know, Michael is going to be in a little bit of an issue, to say the least, as that is pretty much what is allowing him to support his army. And what's happened here, as you can see there, we have unfortunately been ambushed by a guy, you know, an army over 20 more guys than us. They outnumber us. So, you know, 120 guys, you know, now on the battlefield, 70 of them. And they are night goblins, which, while die relatively easily, do have a lovely habit of basically doing a lot of damage, which can be very, very painful. So you just see here, we are trying to sort of bunch all of these guys up to hopefully try and slow those guys down, but straight away, there you go, Forrester killed straight away, and guys knocked unconscious. You know, these squig riders really are very, very lethal sort of things, so something that normally would probably advise trying to resolve, sort of trying to avoid there. You can see though my plan to have the ranks, that does seem to work pretty well. It's managing to actually bog their squig riders down, and so it should probably be a case though that we should try and, you know, actually charge these guys. As you can see, there comes over a big massive swarm of the night goblins. Obviously we're going to have to go our usual sort of typical thing of jumping in and out to hopefully be able to take some down. Thankfully, obviously, because of, you know, how much they cannot take damage, they do tend to fall down pretty easily there, if you do obviously manage to hit them, of course. But Michael is going to do what he can to try and keep his forces alive. Hopefully, though, they might be able to last a little while. He's sort of hoping, he's well aware he obviously doesn't have any massively experienced guys, so this is something we are probably going to struggle at and potentially going to be losing a lot there. You can see there, we've just received, our mount has just received 96 damage in total from 2 attacks. That's a lot of damage to be taking and is not a great situation to be in, so we are going to actually pull back a little bit and, you know, try and actually be able to sort of attack these guys, you know, using pistol and ranged, hopefully be able to maybe pick off a couple of guys and things like that. At the very least, if, you know, hoping that, you know, if it is a case that our Empire army is going to fall, which, as you can see there, is looking increasingly likely given the chunk of guys that has just died and been knocked unconscious, then at the very least, who knows, we might be able to actually take a good few of them with us. However, actually being able to get that to happen is probably going to be easier said than done. And so we are literally just here getting to look back as the last of our militia forces are pretty much just being mopped up by the night goblins. So we are going to just go into their archer units, try and take out as many as possible. We are managing, you know, take down a good number of their guys before, there we go, unfortunately our horses hit and by the actual squig riders completely decimated. And I believe we are thankfully managing to hold our own. However, obviously the couching damage, obviously from them charging us, is more than a little bit, to say the least, and is really starting to, you know, wear us down by this point. Michael is, you know, desperately, he's the last one now alive, hoping that he's going to be able to actually do some form of damage, maybe be able to take out another couple of guys before he falls. I think it's safe to say, there we go, he knew he was on his way down there for being knocked unconscious. And we are simply just going to have to, I think it's safe to say, just try and run as best that we can. Unfortunately, no, there we go, we are unfortunately managed to be caught and dragged prisoner, wherein we finally, a couple of days later, do manage to escape, head to what actually discover is there a tournament. And so we are going to try our hand at tournaments. It's the first time that Michael has actually entered one, so we will see how this goes. One thing I will mention, obviously, in this game, when you are doing tournaments, it does seem like there does seem to be a little bit of an issue, as they seem to be, while you can place bets on yourself, it doesn't quite seem to be working properly. It doesn't seem to be giving you back the, the gold that you should be getting from them. But obviously, I mean, not the massive sort of end of the world, that one, but you know, it would be nice if we could actually, you know, when you're putting in sort of several hundred gold and you've bet on yourself, it would be nice to actually get it back if you were able to. And also as well, one interesting thing they have put in this game is that you actually keep your specific armor from whatever you're wearing. It's just the practice weapons that you get, which is certainly very nice for when you're getting up to higher levels and, you know, you've got some nice thick plate armor on there and that, and pretty much then you're going up against things like marauders, where they're just doing basically with the practice weapons no damage to you whatsoever. Not something I'm complaining about there really, obviously, as we're able to, you know, be able to take a lot of these guys down. As you see, that guy wearing absolutely no armor whatsoever, and so he is not somebody who is exactly difficult to take down. But these guys here, the actual, you know, lords themselves, are a little bit harder to do, so we are going to hopefully be able to take these guys down, although we shall see how it is that we go. And we do actually manage to get these guys down. However, unfortunately, to Emperor Karlfranz, we are knocked unconscious, although if, you know, we are going to be knocked down by anybody, might as well be the Emperor. That's something I think it's safe to say that Mike can live with, and luckily for his valor, he is actually allowed to continue in the actual combat, which is definitely a nice thing to do. So, you know, hopefully, who knows, might be able to keep going, have a rematch with the Emperor. And speak of the devil, but who should he see over the tournament grounds but the Emperor himself, just in time for him to unfortunately be knocked unconscious by one of his generals in the actual tournament. So, you know, this is something that we are actually going to make sure that, you know, we get revenge on this guy. This guy actually is going to get hopefully knocked unconscious by us, and there we go. We managed to take down Lord Blackadder, and you will see the guy we were also working with there was a wizard, a battle wizard. They don't unfortunately do anything wizards in this game. They still wear their usual heavy armor and things. They don't, they're not actually able to cast magic, which is something that is a great shame. I wish that they could have been. However, you know, not the end of the world though, and so just quite strange though seeing obviously Battlemasters, given how we know they are in the lore, to how they are actually having to be portrayed in this game. So obviously you see Michael is pretty much kind of just continuing due to actually being able to, you know, sort of stay behind, having some good teams there, and obviously winning on one-on-one fights very easily. They are pretty easy things to actually be able to win, obviously, just as long as you're making sure that you're blocking in the right direction at the right time and then returning their attacks. Although, thankfully, a lot of the earlier ones that actually are removing people is obviously team fights, which is where you will get attacked, where you can't actually dodge enough for the amount of people, also you can't block enough for the amount of people that there is. But so we're going to continue on here with Michael obviously managing to steadily knock this guy down. You will see that obviously we're each managing to do a decent bit of damage to each other. I was actually getting pretty close to potentially losing there, but do manage to go down, and that is the semi-finals out of the way, and myself and Count Wolfram are the last ones left for the final battle here. And so Michael is going to go in and hopefully be able to take him down nice and easily, hopefully. You know, we're not going to be letting him up with this one. There's obviously a lot of to and fro. You can see we are managing to do quite a bit of damage to him. We obviously have Iron Strike, not obviously the health one, and no, yes, it is Iron Strike. I keep forgetting there. I just basically call them the increased damage and the increased health. So those are two that I do like to focus on. Obviously, I will be looking at getting some, you know, specific guys who can obviously give me, you know, engineering and things like that to help improve me later on. But that's everything from me for today. So thank you very much. I shall see you next time, and hope you enjoyed the video here at EGN.